What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. I hope you're having a great week. It is going to get so much better after this because this is going to be quite the episode. I actually have Christian co-hosting with me, and we have my grandparents on the podcast, Two Mama and Two Papa. Yeah, give it up for them.
It's not a button; those are actual clapping.
You know, actually, Two Mama, this is the big flex on the What's Good podcast. This year, out of our top 10 episodes, I think you were in 3 of them.
Really?
So I think you're the secret sauce.
Okay, that may be. We'll see. We'll see after today.
You're in the Hall of Fame.
And I'll be the whipped cream.
What?
Secret sauce, got to have whipped cream.
With sauce?
Secret sauce and
Secret sauce is whipped cream.
I like it like that.
You've never seen someone use more sauce on things than Two Papa.
True.
That is something about you, Two Papa, that you could have a whole Instagram account called Secret Sauce and just post about the sauces you put on foods.
And one of them would be whipped cream.
It would
be the same thing because like he just puts everything that's out there.
It's so weird. It's
Yeah.
I'm picturing like whipped cream on cane sauce or something like that.
That's disgusting.
That would not be good.
I don't know where this conversation is going, but what we're going to talk about today is actually the dumbest fights that we've had in our marriage. And actually this whole year I've been interviewing all these amazing people. And after we, stop recording our episode, I've been able to ask them this question: what's the dumbest fight you got into? And we have some hilarious arguments people have gotten into from some of your favorite guests on the podcast this year that we cannot wait to show y'all, that we're going to be reacting to for the first time. I've seen them. Y'all haven't seen them. And some of them are pretty epic. But first, I thought it would be great to talk about with the 4 of us some of the dumb arguments we've gotten into. But before I get into our individual marriages, one argument, or awkward, dumb argument we all got into with the 4 of us was actually one of my favorite moments ever. So each year after LO Sister Conference, we've tried to make it a point to take a trip with just our family. And this past year, we were like...
Your family plus us.
Yes,
to help.
that's what I was going to say. So we did just us the year before, and then we went just us for the first couple of days. But then I was speaking at Pepperdine at the end of that trip, and you guys have friends in Malibu. And so we were like, oh, that would be so fun. Y'all should come to Disney World with us, Disneyland. And it was so fun. It was so fun that we pretty much did it again. Just last week, we wanted y'all to come with us to California. But there was one moment where, I guess let's just say for all of our listeners.
Are you clarifying this as an argument?
Well, it's just funny. Riding in the car with Two Papa is an experience of a lifetime.
I really think I should preface Two Papa.
You should.
Okay, because Two Papa is what I call an external processor.
True.
Like everything he thinks and sees must be spoken.
It's true.
Where I am an internal processor. Like I see things and I think things, but I just don't say anything about it. So sometimes...
And you look very nice today.
Thank you, sweetie. Sometimes that can be a problem. So in this particular incident, Christian was on the receiving end of the external processing. Yeah. Now you can start.
So Two Papa was sitting, he was driving, which I don't know how.
Wait, he was driving?
I was
No,
driving.
Christian was driving. Christian was
Sorry.
driving.
You were driving, you were in the front seat,
Yes.
we were in the back. And okay, this is what
riding
happened. I
shotgun.
remember now. We were trying to get gas, but you were not. Christian, were you not getting over in the time Two Papa thought you should get over?
Yeah, it was like 1,000 feet to merge over. And so I'm like, there's 1,000 feet to get over.
So Two Papa kept commenting on the fact that Christian needs to get over. But you were saying it.
But my blinker's on the whole time.
Christian's blinker's on. He's doing all he can
Freaking
do.
me out.
Yeah.
So I get a text from Christian saying something
From the
along
front
the
seat to
from
the
the
back
front
seat.
seat. Like no one else knows this. I get a text from Christian basically saying like he's driving me crazy. At the same time as I get a text, Two Mama sends Two Papa text. We don't know we're texting each other. None of us know. Saying you're driving him crazy. And Two Papa looks down at his phone and says, "Who? Chris, who? Who am I driving crazy?"
Just like blurts that out loud. And at that point,
sitting in the back seat.
so like a good wife, I'm trying to manage him and help him out. So I'm just like, gently send him a text. You're leave him alone.
We're in like
And then
standstill
Chidima
LA
reads
traffic.
the text out loud.
Out loud.
And then he's like, who? But who am I bothering? And
Back to the external
and
processing.
Chidima was like, Christian, Johnny. And I was dying. I was on a few pants. I was like, I'm going to be honest with you. I also just got a text from Christian saying the same thing. We were dying.
We were all dying
That
laughing.
ended up being the best memory of the trip.
It actually did, and we're still talking about
Well,
it.
that and the earthquake.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
that
yeah.
trip was
We had that
crazy.
too, yeah.
And
That was
external processor and an
Right.
earthquake is really funny too.
Right.
What did I
Exactly.
say?
I can't remember. I
Something.
just remember it being
What did he
so
say? Somebody
chaotic.
yelled down the hall.
You yelled
Can't
something
remember
down
what
the
it was.
hall that was
I think I
like,
said, it's over.
it was so,
Don't worry about it. It's over.
that's what you said. This is making me loud. Don't worry about it. It's over. Okay, so now that we got, our wheels spinning, two on, two up, can y'all think of some dumb arguments you've gotten into over the past 50 years of marriage?
Well, I mean,
There's just so many we
Okay.
could never think of just one.
yeah. Here's what happened. Here's the good news about 54 years. You kind of y'all been married how many years?
How long have we been married? 6 years.
Okay, you got 6 years. So your memory is 6 years. Maybe add that engagement year. Maybe 7 years. So when you've been married 54 years, you're looking at like one filing cabinet of a marriage and like 10 stuffed with memories and things and good times and bad times and disagreements and all that. So it does get harder to remember one specific argument. So, but all of them mostly that I would not say even argument because I don't know that we even fight over things like that anymore because eventually you just give up, like the clothes he wears. I mean, I just give up. There's no, it's a fashion dilemma every day, but I'm just like, it's okay. You're fine. Don't wear socks. Just wear a black shirt and a white T-shirt under it. It's like, okay, just go ahead.
Are you really not wearing socks?
Never. No.
That's weird.
He used to tell Mama when we were dating they match his gloves, and he'd hold his hands up like that. So
You really haven't.
yeah. So after a while, there's things you just give up on. That's all you do. You just like shrug and move on. So that's the good news.
That is
Your
good
future
news.
will hold a time when you just won't even remember the little silly arguments because your memory bank really is full of great memories and great things and that kind of thing. Now, does that mean we don't have disagreements on the daily, weekly,
yesterday.
monthly? Okay, that still exists. And most of them involve this external thinking process that happens
It often involve the car.
and often
I was gonna
involved
say,
in the
the
car.
car.
Yeah.
Trips to Huntsville with y'all.
Yeah.
Were never boring. It's actually really encouraging though, because I think so many couples probably, especially a lot of people listening to this podcast have not been married 54 years, been married 6 years, 5 years,
Right.
2 years, 1 year. Maybe they're not married yet. They're engaged. They're dreaming about marriage one day. And so it's nice to know, okay, it's okay to have disagreements. It's okay to have arguments. Even every single day and still have a great marriage. And 54 years later, we can say we're still married. We have an amazing family. And yet we argued a lot and we got on each other's nerves and we got past it and we're still each other's best friend. You guys have literally gone across the country like 4 times over the last month. You went to New York, you went to LA, you went to Tampa, you went to Miami, and not even like you went to New York, then you went to Miami, then you came back home, then you went to LA, then you went to Tampa. Like y'all travel the world together and y'all are going to see like comedians that you love and you're going to be with grandkids and you're going on dates and like seeing y'all's relationship is so inspiring. So it's actually really cool to hear you say sometimes you drive each other crazy, but you can still have a great marriage.
So wait. Have you told him what your favorite saying
It's
is?
a crazy kind of love.
No, not that.
That's your favorite saying.
What's the other thing that you say about your marriage?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. I say that I have the most wonderful, best marriage on earth. I just wish she did.
Oh yeah, I
You heard
heard
that?
you say that.
Which is not true. I have a great marriage, but again, part of his like external processing, he thinks that I am not having a good time because of him driving people crazy like Christian, or he's notorious for, while we're all having a great conversation about family, deciding to give us a quote about what's happening over in China with the something. Like, we're like, we're not even talking about that.
It's true.
Is that true?
But we love you for it. That's why I told you the pastor at church yesterday reminded me of you.
I do get called Tu Papa Jr. sometimes
He
by Sadie. But my favorite one with you is your inopportune mail delivery times.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
He always has mail for us. But actually, that's sweet because a lot of people say, like, people marry their dad, like someone like their dad. And I feel like Bella married someone like our dad, like Jacob's not like dad. But you are such a like father figure to me my whole life. Like, you would take me on dates all the time and show up at all my games, all my sports. Like, you are such a dad to me. And I feel like I married someone like you because Christian is a lot like you in a lot of ways. And you're one of Christian's favorite people. So even though you did low-key drive him crazy that one car ride, he's the one that wanted you back.
You weren't even driving.
It endures me to people.
You weren't even. Well, it was also probably a combination of the kids screaming in the back.
There was a lot
We've
happening.
been at Disneyland all day. So.
There was a lot happening.
But I also have to say about Tu Papa, though, he is the most, like, not sensitive or most humble about himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can say that. You can say,
It's true.
You are driving Christian crazy, and he doesn't care. So I don't know if that's not good or bad, but I really think it is good. In the long run, it's really good because he's open to conversations about improving.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily going to do that, but he's open to it because he'll forget it. But he is good about that.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what's great in any marriage is that you can be humble about your mistakes, what you've done wrong, and
Y'all, every year, I'm like, I want to be the person that gives the intentional, thoughtful gifts. But the thing with that is you actually have to think about the gift because I'm always like, oh no, it's like it's December, like we got to get it fast. But not this year. I'm going to level up and give an aura frame that has been the perfect balance between thoughtful and personal and easy. If you guys don't know about the aura frame, this is going to be the gift of the season. With aura, the pressure to give the perfect gift just melts away because you're giving them something they actually would love and it's very meaningful. And the fun part, you get to share all of the photos you know they'll love to their frame. That goofy pic you took at the beach or your wedding day moment, the kids being wild, whatever tells the story of your people the best and what you know that person will love. I love that you can actually preload the frames before it even ships so that it shows up to that person already personalized and you can keep adding photos anywhere, anytime. Plus, it already comes in a gorgeous gift box so there's no stress, no price tags. It truly is like the perfect gift. So for a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's bestseller Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter by using the promo code WOW at checkout. Again, that's Aura Frames, AURA frames.com with the promo code WOW. This deal is exclusive to listeners and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout, please. Terms and conditions apply. There is a book, but I didn't read the book, but I did the Bible study version of it on the Bible app, and it was called Unoffendable, like being unoffendable. And it was really, really good. And I think that you're like that, and that's actually really good in marriage, especially when it comes to like little arguments, because that's how they don't become big ones, is if you just let them roll off, not even like laugh it off, like just know who you are, be unoffendable. Christian and I were trying to think of the dumbest arguments we've had. And what's actually cool is even just 6 years, which is not a lot amount of time, we couldn't even hardly think of one because even though we know we do have dumb arguments a lot, like we couldn't pinpoint like, oh, when that happened or that happened, because when you look back, even like this past month, I'm like, you start to not remember those little things, you know, because they're just not that big of a deal. And I feel like in just 6 years, we're not as bothered by things as we used to. Like, for instance, there was this part of the closet that Christian had all of his clothes and that he had not unboxed these clothes that this company sent him.
You told me this last night.
I know, but I was like, you know what? I was like, you know what, though? I didn't let it really bother me. And this is good because Christian got this company sent him all these clothes and they've been sitting in our closet forever in the same spot. And I'm like, hey, it'd be great if you kind of like go through those clothes. Well, he hadn't gone through the clothes, hadn't gone through the clothes. And then he also has like a million hats. And I'm like, hey, like you should go through those hats because they're taking up our entire counter space. And also he continues to buy new hats. So I'm like, you got to go through the hats.
These hats get sent
in
to
the
me.
meantime, no, you do buy a lot of hats. In the meantime, I cleaned out all of my side of the closet. I'm also cleaning out all the girls' closet. So I'm like, okay, you can do this one portion.
You are good at that, Sadie. You're like,
I do try.
She was doing all that
like
in
to have
spite.
it-
She was doing all that in spite of me not cleaning the closet.
oh, she's.
No, I really wasn't. Yeah, I was going to say, no, I wasn't. I just wanted myself to be cleared.
Yeah, you're good about that.
And so it was just funny because last night
I
we were
am.
thinking of dumb arguments, and I was like, you know what's funny is I was like, I actually have asked you like at least 10 times to clean this closet and the hats, but I haven't been annoyed by it. Like I'm not frustrated by you. It hasn't caused a fight. It's just something that I continue.
You're not fighting
ask
with him.
you.
You're
We're
not throwing hats
fighting.
at him. You're not
It's
that.
not like
You're just
a huge deal. It's just like, hey, I'd love for you to do that at some point. And I was like, I think that's just a small thing of growth in our marriage in just 6 years by not being like, you know, in your first year, you're so sensitive to things where it's like, you don't listen to me. I've asked you so many times. Like, none of that. It's just like, hey, for real, boy, get your hats out of the way.
I'm really not a messy person. It just when it gets to the point of like being,
You get overwhelmed. It's like a big task.
I don't know where I would start with my
and you just
100
have to
hats.
Yeah.
start.
Well, we're like that with Two Papa's table that sits beside his chair in our bedroom. Like our bedroom is like the biggest mess ever all the time because his pile is
One
just
spot.
an entire
That's like me. It's
That's
just,
like
it's
Christian
just
said,
An
just one
entire
spot.
area.
I'm like, but if you
But
cleared
every
that
other area
spot, the
is
whole
super,
room would
super.
feel different.
Yes,
You know,
like
it would just
he just
feel
keeps
better.
stacking things on there. He's like saying, I'm going to read that. I'm going to read that. I'm like, when are you going to read
Yeah.
50 things that are stacked up there? And he says,
that's
when he
eventually.
like
Honest
totally,
with
he says
yourself.
eventually, yeah, like when he totally retires, which I don't ever see that
I don't know that
happening.
you're ever going to totally
I don't think he will
retire.
either.
The other arguments that we could think of, though, all were in COVID days, which is funny. I think because we were like quarantined
Locked
together.
up.
Well, long distance and dating and engagement to quarantine marriage.
Yeah, that will cause some dumb arguments. What were the ones that we thought of?
The COVID, the driving to Florida.
Oh, this is funny. Yeah, we did get in a pretty
Which
dumb
this
argument.
was you being sensitive.
Yeah, this was bad. I'll admit
This would
that.
not have happened now.
So during COVID, crazy days. Do you want to tell the story?
Yeah, so it's like height of COVID, crazy times. So we're driving to Florida because you can't. This was at the point where where like the airport was still shut down and everything. So we were driving to go visit my family for something. It was over the summer. We had no kids yet. It was just the two of us, and we were driving to Florida. We get to like the state line of Alabama and Florida, so to kind of go into Florida, kind of near Pensacola, that area right there. And you come up to this checkpoint. It's like the interstate's like shut down.
Which, this is important, and this is so crazy to think about. But at the time, no one from the state of Louisiana or the state of New York could enter Florida because Louisiana and New York were such big COVID
I don't
hubs.
think
Because
we
it was
knew
right at
that.
no, we did know that, but we were like,
Yeah, I
"Who's
remember
gonna
that.
check
Yeah.
if
Who's
we're
gonna
from
stop
They were
Louisiana?"
saying it was because of Mardi Gras. That
Yeah, because Mardi Gras, it was at the beginning of all
like, we're on
COVID.
driving the interstate. Like, how do you?
Yeah, so we were like, they're not gonna know. Like, your family's there. We're just gonna go. You know, it's fine.
Yeah.
Well,
So the interstate, it's like blockaded. It's like you can't. It's like barricaded. You can't keep driving the interstate. So they like.
I was so
You get
scared.
merged over to like one of the one of those
there's
Roadside
officer
park.
one of those
checkpoints.
roadside checkpoint things. Yeah, and there's like 30 cop cars. So you have to like, but they have
Every
these. They
single
have these
person
like
entering the state
individual
had
like
to be
stations.
Interrogated.
They have these like individual like station tents set up, and you don't have to get out or anything. You just kind of pull it through, and this person you like roll down the window. This person's like
Thankfully-
This person's like super intense.
Thankfully, we were in your car, which still had your Florida license plate.
Yes.
But the whole time we're leading up to it, I'm saying to Christian, you cannot lie. You cannot lie. If they ask us, like, if we've been in Louisiana, like we just have to tell
Well,
them.
but this was
I was
still
so
time when
scared.
people were like crazy. It was
Yeah.
like you get locked up in a hotel for 2
weeks. And we were
crazy
seeing
stuff.
that. We remember we just saw Craig Rochelle had been locked in that hotel for 2 weeks.
Yeah, like crazy stuff.
Yes, this is so crazy.
So we pulled through this thing, and I'm in my truck. I still have my Florida license plate, and the cop. So Sadie has this whole
I'm
mantra.
like, this is what we're gonna say. We're gonna say your family's from here. We've driven 7 hours. We can't turn around.
Yeah.
Well, I gave the.
But in my mind, I'm thinking, what if we pull in and they're like, come to the Holiday Inn with us for 2 weeks? You know, I'm like, we're not. We're not doing this. So I pull in. And
but what's funny is the whole time Christian was just telling me, okay, like he never told me anything. He was just like, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, you're just gonna tell me where they're feeling. He's like listening to me, yes. So we pull in, and the officer's like,
no, this person's like intense. So have you been to? Have you been in Louisiana,
scary.
New York, or some other
in
random
the last
state?
2 weeks, have you been to New York, somewhere else in Louisiana? And Christian goes, nope. And I was like,
all right, thank you.
Christian's like,
goes, all right,
say
thank
yourself.
You. Said, all right, thank
And
you.
Sadie was
and he sends us on. And I was like,
mad
you lied. And he was like, I had to.
It was like either we're driving 7 hours back to
Right.
Louisiana or we're at the Hampton Inn. I'm
For
like,
30 minutes, he
I'm
goes,
like,
did you want to turn around, drive service? Do you want to be in the Hamptons? I'm like, I told you not to lie. And I was like,
yeah.
who would we be? Because we were like, then Christian's like, well, if we were in a war, you would sometimes have to lie to save yourself. And I was like, I don't know if I could do it.
That's a
crazy.
funny
Well,
one.
I don't condone lying because it is a sin. But
The funniest part though was just like the build up, and I just was like, and you were just going along with it, like, yes, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And he's like, have you been to New York, Louisiana in the past 2 weeks? And you're like, no. I'm like,
The Lord forgave you.
he did forgive us, and we got to go be in Florida.
and we had
and
a
it
good
was
time
great.
with my family. Yeah.
We did have a good time. That's like a very memorable trip because I remember just the beginning stages of COVID, like any door we opened, we could like
Oh, yeah, it
germ-X,
was-
So
like,
where did
wash
they
our
think y'all
hands.
were coming from?
Well, thankfully he had that Florida
That's
license.
Mobile.
plate.
You dropped your Mobile.
Okay, so
Yeah,
maybe
so
you
we
were
could have
just
been in Alabama.
or something. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
But oh man,
That is
I would have been
so
at the
funny.
Holiday Inn for 2 weeks if he asked me the questions.
That's so
Or
funny.
you would have been 7 hours back to
Or
Louisiana.
7
You've been
hour
in the car for
drive back.
15
I
hours. Right
would've.
there.
Oh my gosh.
I think Christian said something though that kind of speaks to remembering things. As you said, it was just you two. So that, of course, you're going to remember that. Now you have 3 kids that layer everything
true,
else. So,
'cause-
like, your brain can't, like, now we have 3 kids, 3 in-law kids, 14 grandkids, 10 great-grandkids. Like, we've got a lot of other people who can annoy us.
Yeah,
You know, it
that's
doesn't,
actually
it doesn't have
so
to just be
true.
him, you know, and
That's
me.
so true.
And we
because
can also use each other as like, okay, you're my sounding board for if I'm annoyed
Yes.
at a sister or at a brother or at
Yes.
a, you know, or somebody else in the family, you know. So you
that's
kind of then form this camaraderie of like, you know, we're a
Yep.
team. So I think I'm giving y'all some more advice for 54 years
good.
of
That's
marriage.
actually so true because all of our memories of annoying each other was when we were before we had
It's
kids.
just y'all, yeah.
And then actually we've been saying that we feel like more like a team than ever because you are a team and because
Yeah.
we're dealing with the frustrations we have with a 2-year-old or with like, you know,
Right.
all the parenting of all
Which
the things.
is way harder actually than saying no to a,
Yeah.
you know, when you're dealing with a sick child or a disobedient child or something, that just is
so hard.
That's so hard.
Yeah.
And then the other things, just take a back seat in your memory banks
Yeah.
because it's just not really that important.
No, because that's the thing. Like the big arguments stand out because they were a big deal.
Right.
You know, it was like, oh, we were arguing over how we're going to parent this situation or what we're going to do or all of those things. But like the funny ones, and just throughout the day, like the dumb little ones, you didn't put your hats up or you didn't, it doesn't really matter. So you can
Right.
hardly even remember it.
Yeah.
But then thinking back to our marriage, those were like silly, but at the time, that was our big deal.
That was a big deal.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's just funny. Okay, friends, one of my favorite childhood memories around Christmas was actually packing Operation Christmas Child shoeboxes. We did it at our school every year, and there was just something magical about, packing the toys, the crayons, the stickers, and knowing that it's going to a kid around the world who needs a little extra love. This year, Operation Christmas Child aims to reach another 12 million children with these gifts, which is so incredible. And even though National Collection Week is over, there is still time to be a part of it by building a shoebox online. This is seriously the easiest way to join in. You just hop online, pick out the gift that you want to include, and Samaritan's Purse packs it for you and sends it straight to a child in need. It is a very simple way to make a very meaningful impact. When you build online, Samaritan's Purse can make sure those gifts are carefully packed, approved, and delivered safely. I personally am such a believer in this because one of my close friends, Luis from Dominican Republic, was actually on the receiving end of this growing up. He did not have a lot and grew up in an orphanage, and each year at Christmas he got a shoebox and really looked forward to it. And it meant so much to him that he still has the yo-yo that he got as a kid in the shoebox because it was such a big deal to him to get a toy like that he still has it. He's an adult now with 2 children, and it means a lot to him. So I've just seen how far these little gifts can really go and the impact it can make by your love and your commitment to send something. So visit samaritanspurse.org/OCC to learn how to pack a shoebox or build one online. That's samaritanspurse.org/OCC.
Yeah, most of our arguments are usually pretty good ones. They're not
that dumb.
They're not like, oh, that's kind of stupid. It's like,
It's like a for real.
there's some validity there.
That's true. We're in the deep end now.
Because I was thinking about this one, I was like, that was probably a dumb argument. But then I was like, actually, no, that was probably a big one.
Yeah.
Or I was thinking of the communion one. Remember we were doing communion together?
That's just like the funniest thing ever. Like it was so not funny at the time, but it is funny to think back on. That was like the hardest thing we have been through.
Yeah, we walked through a really difficult time, and then we both came together. We're like, hey, let's take communion. So we're taking communion.
We tried to take communion.
Well, we were in the process of taking communion, and then I think I was like, let me I need to flesh out one more thought, and then that blew up. Remember, then you slammed the door and you said, I'm going on a walk. And it was like,
meanwhile, the communion cups are just sitting there.
Grape juice was
Grape
never
juice.
drunk.
This was, I was just sitting at the table, just looking at the grape juice and the bread, and
I was
just
so
on the little moonlight
mad.
On the little moonlight walk.
I know. It's just actually I have given people that advice for take communion because, hey, it'll bring you to Jesus. It'll bring you together. You might have to confess or repent throughout the process, but
that's true.
That is a funny memory to think back on.
That's a funny one.
So we have a lot of different ones that I would love to show from this year. The first one is from Alena Franklin. They had just gotten married. I don't even know that they've been married for a year. And so let's see what her dumb argument is.
Like, I assumed that he would take care of all the car things. I didn't say that to his face. I just was like, you're stepping into this.
Yes.
And I needed an oil change. And I just was like, oh, I need an oil change. And like a few days went by and I still hadn't gotten an oil change. And I was such a brat. I don't even remember how it happened. But eventually, like, I just was like, you have not gotten me an oil change. And I just started crying. He's like, what in the world? I storm out. This is probably like 2 months into marriage. It was probably our worst and also dumbest fight ever because it was like,
hey, that's your worst.
Said it.
Y'all are doing great, but PSA to every guy out there, it is an assumption.
It's your job. I mean, sorry. It's not your job if your wife doesn't need you. But I feel like it's
an expectation most women are going into marriage with. So you might just want to get the oil change. I was the same way. I'd be like, yeah, like my oil like keeps going off, like hee like hey, you gonna do that? And then even like whenever we have like the inspection stickers here, and I'm like, oh, that's like expired, like just kind of noting it. And it's so funny. And Christian also he gets annoyed when he gets in my car and like I'm on low gas, and what he doesn't know is like, no, that's actually intentional, like because I was waiting to be with you
to do
so that you can pump the gas. And he's always like, how are you always on low gas? I'm like, that's intentional.
It's not low gas. You're on. It's
the
like
lights
3
on.
miles.
Yeah.
What you don't
Also,
know.
I love the beginning of that when she was talking about that. You were like, yes, as if I don't do everything for your car.
No. Listen. This is gonna spark a dumb argument about all of my commentary in these videos because I was going with the people. I was like, yes, but listen. expectation without communication results in frustration.
Yes.
And a lot of girls go into marriage expecting their husband to do all these things, but they never communicate it, and then people are getting frustrated out there. You just gotta express your desire.
And I think, again, it's that what your dad did and my dad, and I do remember us doing this in our first 6 months of marriage with him saying something about, I'm not your dad, you know, because daddy was get the gas from mom, do all the things, you know. He came home from work, he went right in the kitchen, helped her. We had 6 kids. He'd get the vacuum out. He did all the things. This was not this man.
Well, that's my question. 53 years, I can't remember when did. It just seems like you always took care of your own stuff. You always changed your own oil. You always got your own gas.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
I don't know.
Which is funny
Yeah,
because I feel like you did a lot of stuff for me. Like you,
but the big things like the license.
Yeah, the license, you always help me
all
with
that kind of stuff.
stuff.
He's always taking. And like now I've got a low tire at this very moment. And I'm like, keep saying, I've got a low tire.
I take care of the low tire.
And he takes care of the low tires.
That is so funny. You actually do always take care of all my car stuff, and you do pump my gas, and I'm so appreciative.
Well, the sweet thing about you is I usually notice what's wrong with your car before you do.
Yeah, you do.
So I'll get in the car and be like, "Hey, you have a low engine oil." You'd be like, "Oh, didn't know that."
Yep, that's true. Except
It's like the lights, like
for some reason, no one decided to tell me the other night when you and Honey and Haven drove my car. The next day I got in it and I was like gagging and like rolling on the windows as fast as I can. I called Christian, did y'all notice a smell in here last night? And Christian's like, oh yeah. Honey said it smelled like Cheetos. And I'm like, and no one looked for where that was coming from. We just let that be one more night, one more day's worth. It's horrible. We are gonna have to have
would
a car
be
detail.
like Johnny's would notice the gas low, but not notice to take out the McDonald's sack that smells
spoiled
so
milk.
bad. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that's bad. Okay, this one is from Breanna Nix. I'm just going to tell y'all, this is the craziest one I've ever heard. So without further ado, and if I agreed with this, I was just being a good sister and a friend.
So we were freshly married, and we were living in an apartment. We're still in apartments, but we were driving into our apartment complex, and he got out of the car first, and I was sitting in the passenger seat, and there's this girl that walked by, and I thought he said, "Wow, you have a really pretty dog." I thought he said, "Wow, you're really pretty," or something like that, like to her. But come to find out, like later after all the chaos I'm about to tell you happened, he was saying you had a really pretty dog, you know?
Oh my gosh.
I didn't see the dog. It was a tiny little teacup something. And I remember,
It's hilarious.
I remember like I got in the car and I just said there, I gave him the silent treatment. I'm like, whatever, I'm not coming inside. So he went upstairs and I'm still sitting in the car and I'm pouting and I'm like, I cannot believe he said that. Like, is he kidding me right now? Do you think he can just go out and compliment, a girl when I'm sitting right? Like, what is he doing? So I came upstairs, I gave him the silent treatment. He jumped in the shower. And this is going to sound like I'm crazy. I mean, I kind of am crazy, but like, I thought I grabbed like paprika or something. I don't know. Like, I don't remember what seasoning I thought it was,
paprika.
but I ran into the shower and like put cold water on his head. And then poured paprika, but it was actually chili powder. It was cayenne pepper is what it actually was. And he's like, this is burning my eyes. And he's like, what is wrong with you? Are you crazy? And it's like such a horror story. He literally like wrapped up in the shower and fell to the ground. I'm like, you called that girl pretty. Like, what is wrong with you? He's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, there's a girl that you called pretty. And he's like, no, the dog was pretty. And so I'm so embarrassed even sharing that, but that's like one of our
even think to go grab the
I don't know. Like, why was it? What was I thinking, right? Like, I wanted to turn him orange, like whatever, because we're very jokative in our family.
That is hilarious.
But like every time we tell that story, I get immediately so embarrassed because I'm like, what was wrong with me?
That is so funny.
And then come to find out the lady, this is even more embarrassing. The lady that he was talking to is actually our downstairs neighbor.
No, so now you have to see her all the time. That is
It was so embarrassing. So
every time
we
you
lived
see her,
through
you'll
it.
be like, you're really pretty. And your dog is too.
Yeah.
My pregnant laugh.
They're still
I
miss
miss your pregnant.
this
laugh.
day?
Me too. My pregnant laugh is so much funnier.
Yes, they're still
Yes,
married.
they're still married.
married
They're
after
still
that?
married. Yes. I was like, how did you even think to go to the spice cabinet? Like, I
Yes.
would never even thought of that. She's like, I wanted to turn him orange. That was an
That's
intrusive
so funny.
thought unlocked. She just said, full send that.
That is hilarious.
That is that's next level.
I never done something like that to you.
You have not.
Thank God.
No, we never did. No.
I didn't think of that one.
But that was pretty funny.
That is one of those things that it would be a huge argument if he actually did color pretty, but it ends up being a dumb argument because it was the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just
Yeah.
funny. That is just hilarious. The other day, Christian was making a joke. Someone, our friend showed us this picture of this girl, and Christian said, "Dadgum." And I said, "Christian, you can't be saying dadgum to another woman." But he was quoting something that we had both seen. And then after I said that, his parents
But it wasn't even
give
to
us
the
a 10-minute speech on like how we can't be jealous of other people.
But it-
We can't appreciate
the dadgum
other
was
attractive
not
people. I
to
was
the
like,
person.
I was kidding. I was not really mad about the dadgum. I thought it was funny.
I'm saying that to the listeners.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
You
saying-
weren't actually saying.
No, I'm saying to the listeners. That way they're not thinking I actually said daddy gum.
No,
to
but
a
it was
girl.
just funny because it was followed by us getting
It
a
was in a
speech on not being
context.
jealous in marriage and being confident in that we want each other. But I was like, I do want you. I know you want me. That was just joking. I was
And
joking.
he can appreciate somebody else being
Yes,
attractive.
That's okay. You
Yeah.
can acknowledge that. That's a generational thing, though, that is interesting because I don't know if it's generational or if it's just 30 years in marriage for his parents, 50 years in marriage for y'all, and 6 years. Like, okay, y'all will say, oh, it doesn't matter. You can say someone's attractive and it's fine. But, like, it seems like such a big deal for young people to hear their, spouse say someone's attractive, even if they just are attractive. Like, I feel like it automatically causes arguments. In that case, I actually was kidding, but I'm interested to hear your thought on that because I think that's actually pretty like universal.
This is off the cusp. You were not planning on talking about that.
No, I just want to know what y'all think.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Okay, yeah.
to the
Well,
listeners.
I mean, I think for us, it's never been a jealousy thing like that. I mean, he's free to say she is so pretty. And like yesterday, in fact, we were at the Hub. And was it the Hub? No, where were we?
I don't remember this.
No, we weren't at the Hub. I don't know where we were. But some guy, we were at the ball game, at Justice ball game. Some guy walked by with this really great hair. And he said, I really would love to have that hair.
Want that hair.
I want that hair, he said. And I said, you had that hair, but it was 50 years ago. I would rather you have that stomach he has. And he just laughed about it because, that's
Well, that's it. Like,
not a big deal.
Chandler and Sheree were saying, because like we know we want each other, and
Yeah.
it was a funny thing because Chandler had just spilled queso on his shirt, and she was like, "I want the guy with queso on his shirt, even if that guy's attractive." Which, like, I guess young people, that, but you're so sensitive to
Yeah,
like.
you're still
and I don't
young.
know, but you're young and you just got married, and I don't even feel. Like now, I really was not bothered by that. And even if you did say she was pretty, that's so different than like when we were dating. I would have been sensitive to that, and that was something I had to work on was jealousy.
Well, then
and
you're still
being
gaining. You're
connected.
still gaining.
You're gaining
that confidence in
trust.
your relationship,
Yes.
and
Totally. So that's an interesting topic of conversation. Nothing ruins a night faster than waking up sweaty or shivering at 2 a.m. I used to toss and turn constantly until we found Miracle Made. These sheets are NASA-inspired silver-infused fabrics that help regulate your body temp so that you can finally stay cozy at the perfect temperature all night long. And let me tell you, when you've been waking up to a newborn every few hours, the little bit of sleep you get really does count. You don't want to be waking up for any other reason. Having sheets that stay cool, comfy, and fresh is such a game changer. They're temperature regulating for any kind of sleeper and feel like 5-star luxury without that luxury price tag. Plus, they are antibacterial, so they'll stay cleaner up to 3 times longer, which really will help your skin too. Miracle Sheets just has it all, y'all. We love our Miracle Sheets. We have recommended them to everybody, including you right now. We have our sheets on our bed, our guest bed. We are the biggest Miracle Made fans. So upgrade your sleep or give the gift of better rest to someone else. Go to trymiracle.com/woe to try Miracle Made Sheets today. You'll save over 40% off, and when you use the promo code WOE, WHOA, you'll get an extra 20% off plus a free 3-piece towel set. They are an amazing gift, and with a 30-day money-back guarantee, there's absolutely no risk. That's trymiracle.com/WHOA with the code WHOA at checkout. Thanks to Miracle Made for sponsoring this episode. Okay, next we have Chidima and Mel, which was actually one of y'all's favorite top 10 podcasts of the year as well. We had a little girl chat and talked about meeting husbands, and it was really cute. So here's their arguments.
This is actually so crazy of me. Like this reflects poorly on me.
It normally falls on our craziness.
Yeah, it really does. Oh, yeah.
I'm super particular just in general, but I'm very particular about the dishes. Like that's, if we're going to get into a fight, it's probably going to be about the dishes. And when we were getting married, we got a new set of like Pyrex, just Pyrexes, you know, Tupperware. That's what it was. And so the old ones that I had, I was like, okay, Michael, basically the old ones are yours. Like if you want to take them to work, take them to work, because he'll take it to work and then not bring it back. Yeah. So I'm like, just to avoid any argument, any fight, you take the old ones. The new ones from our registry are just for like at home, like for food prep or meal prep, things like that. And so that's always been our agreement. And I was out of town once, and these things tend to happen when I'm out of town. But I'm out of town, and I notice, because I count them, how many, so you see, again, crazy, super crazy, but I count how many are there, the new ones, and one of them was missing. And so I was like, hey, did you take one of the Pyrexes to work? And he was like, oh yeah, I did. I wasn't thinking about it, whatever. I was like, okay, where is it? He was like, oh, it's in the car. I'll go grab it, right? He goes to grab it. There was food. I can't even, because I'm getting mad again. There was food all in it, but it was like spaghetti, like meat sauce, like red meat sauce. So you know how like that gets stuck?
And it's gross.
It does stain, yeah.
I crashed out. I literally was like, we've talked about this. I'm not a yeller, so I didn't yell. But just like very calmly, I was like, we talked about this. And now the red sauce is stuck in the lid. And so that's super dumb. Like I'm talking about it now, super dumb. Does not matter. We can buy more. But at the time,
it's like a really big deal.
Oh my gosh, I did not talk to him for the rest of the night. Like,
oh my gosh. And isn't it so funny when you're saying
so
something?
dumb.
It's
Right.
like silly, but in the tone, it's like the red sauce is stuck to the
stuck.
thing. And it's like you're literally talking about red sauce being stuck to it, but it matters.
But it matters.
And it gets personal because you're like, and I told you.
I asked you. That was my whole thing. I was like, I asked you basically specifically not to do this, and you did. And he was like, and then it turned into a bigger fight because he was like, well, it's not a big deal. Like why can't you see something? Now we're getting deep. But he was like, why can't you see something and just like give me grace? I was like, well, I specifically asked you. It feels like you're disrespecting me and not doing what I'm asking. And so then it became this bigger fight.
The dumb arguments, there's a root to it.
There's always a root
to it and why it bothered you so much.
Right.
You know?
Right. And it's not necessarily the other person's fault.
No.
Too,
yeah.
You know?
It's not. That's so true. And you know what? It's so funny how many people have brought up the dishes. That is a thing.
It's crazy.
It's a thing.
I know.
I think me and Christian are the opposite. Like Christian is you and I'm the
really?
Because I don't. Yeah, he's more particular. And so he always does the dishes because he knows if I did it, it would annoy him.
Right. He wants them done a specific way.
Because I'm like,
no dishes for you.
Like, yes. We're doing the dishes. I'm fine with that. And then if I do it, like it'll be like the way he says stuff to me though sometimes where it's like, and I'm like, I know how to do the dishes.
Right.
Do you think I'm not capable? And
he says that all the time. Michael says that all the time.
That is so real.
Yes.
We are opposites. There's always someone who does the dishes right, and that is the you and Christians, and who just piles it all in there.
Right.
That's the me. It'll get washed. It'll be fine.
Right.
That's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
Mel, have you thought of y'all's dumb argument?
I don't know. Like we have not any like blow up arguments, but all of ours are about my particularities. Like too, like and that kind of thing. Like there was one time where he wanted to bake something and it was like a roast, like and something in a pan, and I had some brand new pans versus like the old ones. And he pulled out a brand new. I was like, hey, why don't we use an old one for that? And he was like, why can't I use the like that? But I think like the trash is honestly the like thing, and he accused me like, so I have this thing with trash that I don't want it to smell. Like so if we have food trash, I'm like, hey, can we like put like a smaller trash bag in like and hang it here and put all food trash in there so that we can take the smaller trash bag out
immediately. Yeah.
Immediately.
Y'all are tracking. I'm
I'm like, no,
so that
I
we
get
can
that.
like take the smaller trash bag out immediately, and then we don't like waste large trash bags because like all like all that kind of thing. And like it's just the hardest thing for him to like remember. And so I kind of like I may have like said something that might have like thought him think like I was like, this is just common sense, babe.
Oh,
like,
yeah. And see, I'm always on the receiving end of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly. So evidently, that wasn't the most kind thing to say, which I do agree.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, but it is.
No,
like in
but
my
I
mind, that's
totally
just,
get
like,
you.
common
Yes.
sense.
No, Christian would be like, yes, that is so true. That is so real. That is hilarious. See, I really was honest that whole podcast.
You were. That is true.
Those were good. Those were good
ones.
because I think if you're going to be really particular about something and hang on to it, you're going to have some arguments.
Yeah.
You have to figure out how
with the
far you
flow.
can take that particular thing that you love.
Yeah.
Like if you, like she loves those Pyrex dishes, like how far are you willing to take that? Because you will have an argument about that particular thing.
It's true.
So there's things that both sides just have to give up.
And that's the thing, what I was saying with the closet scenario is that it didn't turn into that. Like, it didn't turn into, you don't listen to me, I've asked you so many times. Like, I wasn't offended because I knew it wasn't personal. Like, it didn't have to do with him, like, not trying to value what I say or respect what I've asked. I know, Christian, and I know that's overwhelming. It's like so many hats. It's at the point where he's really gonna have to sit down and think about which hats he wants, which hats he doesn't, what he's gonna give away, what does he keep. And because I had just done it with the closet, it does take a lot of time. So it's like just not taking things personal.
That is really the key to a successful marriage, is not taking really very few things personal, in the going down that line of thinking that they don't love me, they do this because they don't love me,
Yes,
or they
it's
do
not
this
personal.
because they're not attracted to me, or they don't do this because, and really they most of the time they don't have a reason for why they're doing whatever they're doing.
It's not thinking.
And it's not the thing that we're,
Yes.
us ladies, women are thinking that they're thinking. It's not that at all. They just aren't thinking.
just didn't do
Or
it.
vice versa, the other way, or I'm just not thinking,
It's true. I love that. That's so true. All right, next we have DawnChere.
Okay, so I think probably our first year of marriage, one of the dumbest fights we've ever had. I can say it's dumb now. It was not dumb to me.
It's
in the
always,
moment.
it never feels that way in the moment.
yes.
And it's normally the first year.
It was Rich continually leaving his beard trimmings in the sink.
Oh, that is annoying.
It created quite the fight. And Rich
Yes.
probably thought it was dumb from day one, but it wasn't dumb for me that first year.
No,
We've
and-
gotten past it.
Your toothbrush is there.
Oh, so thank you.
Yeah.
We're on the same team.
No, we still have this conversation because my toothbrush is there.
Exactly.
You have your own sink.
No, when we're on vacation, like when we're traveling anywhere,
We're still working on it.
we're still working
The
on
grace
that.
of God.
That is so funny. That is perfect. No, for real. When we're traveling and you shave your beard and my toothbrush is right there about all of the little hairs, that is actually.
I'm growing it out now, so you don't have to worry about it.
I'm so thankful. Okay, moving along, we had Jess Connolly.
Well, the dumbest argument that I ever got in was the night I got married.
No.
The night of our wedding. And it was because I made the mistake that most brides make and that I did not eat at my wedding. And I was hangry and I was starving. And we went back to our hotel and we had a wonderful night. And then it was 1 o'clock in the morning and I was so hungry. And I remember just begging my husband to go get me food. And he was like, well, it's the middle of the night. Like, I don't know where to get you food. And I just cried. And I was a very hungry 20-year-old who
you're like, you're
needed her
supposed to be my
mommy,
provider.
apparently, literally. And I remember I just yelled and screamed and I went to bed crying my little eyes out.
Oh my gosh, that's
I know.
so real though, because I can relate, but it's like during pregnancy, because one time my great-grandpa, so my great-grandma was telling me a story about my great-grandpa, how she craved tacos during her pregnancy. And like at midnight, he went to fast food, like got her like tacos, brought it back to her because he knew she wanted them.
Wow.
And so, yeah,
That's
so
love.
I threw out one time like, hey, babe, like, you know what sounds really good right now? Like a breakfast toaster from Sonic. And guess what he didn't do?
Yeah.
Get out of bed.
Yeah.
And go get me the breakfast toaster.
I will
and
say
was
for the
disappointed.
last 20 years now, my husband will go get the food because he's like, never again. I'm not doing that again. First night was the worst.
First night was the worst. No, remember I actually did say that. I was like, oh, know it sounds so good. It's like a breakfast toaster from Sonnet.
I thought that you were being.
And then you were like,
joking.
yeah, I know. And then I said it a couple more times. And then what did I do? I got my own butt up and I went in the kitchen and I got myself out tortillas, cheese, eggs, and bacon, and I made a homemade one. And you came in and you said, "Are you really doing this right now?"
I don't remember this.
I said, "What, a breakfast toaster?"
Well, that would never happen with us because if I mention food, it's in the car.
That's never gonna be y'all's argument.
That's never a problem.
That is so
It's opposite
funny.
with us. I won't ever be hungry, and he's just like over there ready for
We
something.
did skip lunch today.
We did. Yes.
Too bad, but will be.
Hence the
You're going
conversation
to
about the-
get lobster
yeah, the
rolls at
lobster
Captain
roll.
D's
That's
after
true.
this.
Got to. I did that last night. 2 in a row wouldn't be bad though.
Oh my gosh. But that is a source of like arguments is whenever you like see someone else's spouse do it and then you try to like see if your spouse do it, like don't play that game. Like
Right.
if that was so sweet that Peppo Shack did that for Mama Joe, but that doesn't mean you have to go do that for me and that you're, you know what I mean? But that's like a sweet scenario because it's my great grandpa. But like a lot of people, it's like social media. It's like, oh, well, her husband did this for her and you won't do this for me or whatever. And that's a sticky slope to get in. All right, next we have Lindsey Gurk, which is such a fun podcast issue.
I do remember it was early on in our relationship. It was a big fight over the dishwasher and how things should go. And he thought that the tongs should go down. I thought that they should go up because the food, it was a whole thing, even down to the cups. And we were arguing. We were very upset about this. And I think I was like, well, then you can do the dishes all the time then if you love it so perfectly. And come to find out, now he does do the dishes now in the dishwasher.
It worked in your favor.
I do the laundry, he does the dishes, and he's particular. And sometimes we learn, like, sometimes we're particular about certain things, and I'm not going to argue if he's going to do the dishes. So
Where are the tongs down now?
they are, I did win that one. They are up. They're up.
So he's doing the dishes and they're up. Girl, you came out on top for that.
Double win.
That's so funny. The dishes. All right, moving on along, we have the Perrys, and this one made me laugh.
I think one of, because we've been married 11 years now, so I'm sure it's a lot of them.
There's many.
But the one I can remember that would be the dumbest is probably we were married maybe 2 years. We had moved into a new apartment.
Like 3. Yeah.
Preston he was no longer working because he was working at Radio Shack, and when them Live Strong bracelets went out, you know, it was like, bro, the business is going down. And so he wasn't working. He was traveling here and there, but my book was about to come out. And so I was making a certain amount of money that I think gave me a sense of pride and entitlement, but also anxiety. And so I came home. And it's two things. You bought some shoes and he bought a basketball hoop to put on the back of the door. And in my mind,
She was so mad.
I'm like, whose money was that? You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, yeah, why would you buy that? Da, da, da. So we had this whole argument because the energy I was giving was not humble, respectful, loving, but it was from this place of, now I got to book an event to pay for them shoes that you decided to buy. Because Preston shoes are never $75.
You got some nice shoes.
He don't got, TJ Maxx Marshalls price shoes. And
for me, I was just irritated because I'm like, I think that same month I had came up with this idea to start my clothing line, which actually does really well for us right now. And she kind of like gave me her blessing. And I'm like, this basketball rim actually helps me think in this place. And so shooting or whatever. And so I was like, I wasn't just at home playing. Like I'm actually thinking about ideas and you know what I mean. And so
did you ever come home from work? And he just chilling. So it just plays this part of like, so you ain't been doing nothing.
Yeah, but I actually was thinking.
I know you were. I know you were ideating.
We've been there.
You were ideating.
The basketball goal helps me think. That's a good one.
Yeah,
it did.
So that was stupid.
So that was stupid.
I love his justification, though, of that basketball.
I know. He's like, hold on now. That was useful.
Yes.
All right. Now we got Sophia Watts. And then we got Miss Terra Tucker.
One, it was obviously probably lying. I don't know if it was time of the month. I was obviously.
That always plays a factor.
It does. It really does. Bad day. And I am very serious when we go
order food at restaurants. I don't like sauce. I don't like ketchup. I like no sauce. So I'm very serious about my salts and my seasonings because it's going to taste gross because I don't eat sauce if it doesn't have seasoning.
Fair.
So every time we go somewhere, I'm like, can you get like an extra cup of the French fry seasoning? And this day I was really hungry and I was like, don't forget. And Taylor, I like to check my food before I leave the drive-through window, and he won't. And I'm like, it's easier if you just check it now. We won't have to get back through the line if it's like wrong. He left, and I was like, wait, did you check to make sure the seasoning was in there? It's stupid. You asked,
this is so real. This is so real.
And I was so
because you did not check.
Oh, it was such a bad argument. And it wasn't even about the seasoning at that point. It got to the point where I was like, why did you just get so mad?
Yeah.
Why are we arguing now?
Well, then
so
you start arguing about the fact that you're arguing.
That's always what the bigger argument
isn't that so weird? I can totally relate to that.
Yeah.
Oh, me and Christian have had very similar in the drive-through line of places. I can't remember what happened. Oh, we had this was similar. We had a wreck actually. Like it was our first time to like experience a wreck together, and we were just dating. Yeah, we were engaged, and we had this wreck, and we both were scared out of our minds because it was like a really scary thing. Well, then we wanted to go to Chick-fil-A because we were both hungry, and we like called ahead because we knew they were going to close, and they ended up. So they took our order, they said we got it, and we got there, and we were like, hey, we had an online order, or we called ahead, and we told y'all we were coming, and they're like, we're closed. And we were like, no, like we called y'all, and you told us that you had it. And they were like, well, we don't have it. And they're like, and we're closed. We then turn on each other, and it was like,
y'all were arguing with each other.
And we get mad at each other, it's like, you should have called sooner, you should have made sure. I'm like, I did make sure, I'm scared, like we just had it right. And then like the only place open was like Sonic. I was like, I don't even like Sonic.
I don't even want to eat anymore.
And then we both like, then he was being so rude to me. I was being so rude to him. And finally, I got out of the car. And now I'm just walking in the parking lot. And I'm like, and then it's so embarrassing because you're like, now what do I do?
Right,
like,
you gotta get back in the car.
I have to get back in the car because we're still like an hour away from where we're going. And then like just the like humility that it takes to get back in the car. And then it's like you're fighting pride because you want to laugh because you know you're being ridiculous, but you're like, it's not funny yet. One day we can laugh about this, but not today.
We're not ready to wrap it up.
No, it's so real. It's so real. Hey, but if you don't have sauce, you need the seasoning. I
how people get upset about their sauce.
I hear you. Yes, that is
so embarrassing. Like Taylor seemed like, I cannot believe you said that.
That is so funny. I actually forgot about that one, but that was a good one.
That was an epic one.
All right, turning on the last one, Miss Terra, who is our marriage counselor. So let's see what her and her
Who has heard all of our dumb arguments.
Yep. Coming from a therapist, I'm very interested to hear you and Mr. David's arguments.
And I'm like, let's pick one. Everybody who knows Mr. David, he is such a good man, but he's a character. Like he smokes his cigars, and I wish he wouldn't. He drives this big gray squirrel of a truck that sounds like a helicopter. It's like the only one. Like where we live, there's all kinds of fancy cars, but there is this. We call it the squirrel. There's just one of them.
It is the squirrel.
It is
I've
something.
seen it.
Yeah, and he loves to drive it. And he has to wear his just khaki pants. Like, it's almost like he has a uniform.
Yep.
And so I learned a long time ago to choose my battles, but we've argued over him stealing my toothbrush. We have argued over him trying to make me drive the squirrel on a rainy day. I mean, like, it's just the silly things, but I can argue just like anybody else and go completely silly and get straight to the point. If you only loved me, and I'm like, oh, that's manipulative and passive aggressive at the same time.
You're like hearing your counseling in your ear. Yes. Yeah. That is so funny. In every marriage, there's someone who cares about sharing a toothbrush, and there's someone who doesn't.
Yes, I care.
I don't care. I don't care.
You and Gracie. Okay, Gracie has also recently stole my toothbrush. People didn't need to know that because she's living with us for a little bit. Yeah. And so Mr. David, like 2 weeks ago, and then Gracie, I'm like, have it, y'all. That's disgusting. It's good to know you don't.
Oh, I don't. We were just in Canada, and I was like, oh, I forgot my toothbrush. And Christian's like, you are not using mine. I was like, yes, I'm using yours. Yes. I was like, you kiss me, I can brush my teeth with your toothbrush.
That's even a recent one. Yeah, with the cigars. I'm like, look, if you want to,
Okay,
and for years we would argue about it. And I finally went, choose your battles, woman. If that's the worst thing he's doing, and he smells like a cigar as he drives the squirrel in his khaki pants and listens to like his strangish kind of music, not bad music, but I'm just like, what are you doing? Then let him be the character.
Now that's good.
That is good.
Whoa, that's good.
Pick your battles.
That reminds me of y'all. Well, friends, I
your battles.
honestly, I love this. We talked about laughing a lot in this podcast, but you also learn a lot. And I think it ultimately comes down to pick your battles. Don't take things too personally. Don't be too sensitive. And later in life, 54 years down the road, you're going to look back at memories, and those are the things you're going to remember in a bad sense. Those are going to be things you laugh at or can hardly even recall. And I love what y'all said. You become such a team throughout it, because then other people start to annoy you and you become each other's soundboard. I love that. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode, and leave a comment if you have a funny story with you and your marriage. We'd love to see it.
Isn't it great when you can talk about dumb arguments and not get in one after?
It's great.